Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Just Because Wrestling. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's
been a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Things get in the way. I think it was Money in the Bank was our last episode, was it?
It probably was.
Yeah, with Fraser. Or did we? No, we did a releases episode after.
Yeah,
that,
we did. Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy. Summer months get a bit crazy. Things
shit
get in the way, holidays, and we were away together in the time we were. Not just us.
romantically, no.
yeah, we went on a romantic trip. We went away with the girlfriends and their friends, we had a good time. Screamed at cock, getting into the All-Ireland final
for like 3 days. Literally, I couldn't speak. It was gone for 3 days.
Your voice, yeah, mine was the same. My voice was so strained. I thought for a sec I was after getting COVID.
Same. I was pure like, oh shit, because because the thing is, I came back to work, and someone in work was like a close contact and tested positive. Then later on, and I was pure like,
yeah.
And then, I'm all good.
Yeah. Thankfully, we're both fully vaccinated.
Yeah, we're fine
now, which is great. Get vaccinated, people. But which means that given that we're both fully vaccinated and the world is going back to normal, we get to watch a pay-per-view in person.
Yeah.
This year or this weekend for the first time in a long time, which is pretty exciting. And we're recording in person for only the second time in the last year and a half. So it's pretty exciting.
It's mad. It's weird. It is strange because the thing is, right, this summer has been actually very newsworthy, but because of summer, we're obviously two of us are working full time at the moment, and like it's hard to find time to actually, especially the fact that like my job, I have to work nights sometimes, and it can get hard, but we made sure to get an episode done this week because it's a big week this week. It's a big week,
and not only the fact, like also that like we have conflicting work schedules, and the fact that like I don't work weekends and then you mainly work weekends.
I work a lot of weekends. Yeah.
It's very, even like tomorrow night, like you're coming here straight after work, like for Summerslam,
pretty much,
and stuff. I'm not. I'll be in the pub at 1 o'clock. I'll probably be asleep by the time you go up here.
Sure, Liverpool
playing tomorrow. I'm going down with my dad down to the local for the first time since COVID.
That's big day.
Yeah, it's a big day out. It's a big day out. No, I'll come back. We usually come back around 5 or 6 o'clock. I'll take a nap then before tactical nap, because I wouldn't make it till then, especially if I continue on drinking. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's like things get in the way. Big newsworthy summer. Obviously a lot around NXT and a lot to be said around changes with that.
And like obviously we said the last episode I think we did was we covered like that big round of releases that we did there a couple of weeks back. But there's since been another kind of round of releases since then, but primarily NXT talents.
That was when we were away. Actually, we were together when the talents were starting to get released.
So because the biggest name obviously being Bronson Reed, probably the most notable name getting released. Since considering the fact he was only NXT North American champion about a month before his release.
Yeah. And the likes of Leon Ruff and Tyler Russ, who was all people who were in big story or in angles or in storylines,
and you add the likes of
Bobby Fish
and Mercedes Martinez, who are obviously they're no spring chickens anymore. Bobby Fish is 43 or 44 now. Mercedes Martinez is 40, but still that age, that like the kind of extension of a wrestler's career seems to have extended somewhat. Considering that you have the likes of Finn Balor and Kofi Kingston, who are both 40 as well, but
and AJ Styles.
Styles 44, 45, I think, something like that.
Jericho, even
the current WWE champion Bobby Lashley.
Ric Flair will be back in the ring soon.
Probably. I mean,
if he stays off those damn trains.
It wasn't him on the train.
Yeah, I
think he's just doing that for his wife. I think he's just saying that.
When I saw the photo first, I was like, that doesn't look like Ric Flair. Like,
the hair is very
the
similar.
hair is very similar, but his back was just very, very big. It didn't look like Ric Flair is very like he's like a frail old man. Like
Is he? He's a big. I say he's still a big lad.
You look more like Gangrel to me than it did Ric Flair.
Sucking some blood.
But I do, and I did think, I was like, is that a bus or a train? Because it's just weird to me that Ric Flair would be on either. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's a story Conrad Thompson told before about how when Uber first started becoming a thing, he ordered Rick an Uber, and it came, but it was like a Kia Sportage that came.
Yeah.
And Ric Flair sent it away. He was like, Ric Flair doesn't ride in Kias. He's like, it's limos, Beamers, or nothing.
It's not Kia Sportage riding.
Yeah, Kia stealing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about, just look up Ric Flair on the train. You'll find.
Not when you're at work.
Not when you're at work.
Yeah. Do it in the safe space.
Yeah, it's funny though. It's funny because it's quite plausible because that's the thing. You'd be looking at it going, it's Ric Flair on a train. He'd never be on a train.
But it's Ric Flair.
You see what the man is doing, and you're kind of like, yeah. If Ric Flair's ever going to be on a train, it'll probably be for that reason.
But see, also the fact that he denied it, I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe. It's not him because it feels like Ric Flair would just say fuck it, just own it. He's selling t-shirts early.
And in fact, Charlotte came out as well with
the hand emoji. That poor girl.
I know. But you know what though? And look, I don't want to rag on Charlotte in her personal life, but like she's not just chasing her dad's title record. Like she's on her third marriage, and and like she's
no. In fairness, one of those was an abusive marriage. So,
true.
True. In fairness, it's not like... I wouldn't be comparing her to Rick, because Rick just got married stupidly. Like, he'd meet someone after... There was a stage there where he was married 3 times in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, slow down,
he
man.
Was
like you're getting married divorced. Yeah.
It's like the golden age of Hollywood where like everyone was getting married like 9 times and everyone had like 15 children. And
yeah.
It's like that. It's like Ric Flair still thinks he's in that era of like, it's acceptable to get married 1 billion times. But it's not acceptable, but it's weird. It says a lot about you if you can't. But anyway,
Rick.
enough about Rick. We'll talk about Rick probably in the not too distant future when he's wrestling on Triple Mania. But yeah, I suppose we can only dance about it so much. But we have to address the elephant in the room here, Jack. We have to address, the big story. Because it's a story that we've
Which one? Because there's a few.
No, you know the one I'm talking about. It's the one that we've been reporting on since day one of this podcast. It's the one that every podcast has been reporting on forever. For 7 years, to be exact. 7.5 years.
I'd love to do the math. I'd love to go back and count how many hours we've actually spent recording. Like, how many hours upon the day. And then, what percentage of those hours have we talked about
an alarming amount. I'd say it's probably like 15-20%.
That's a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a good chunk.
Yeah.
We've done over 100 episodes now. And, like, it pops up, like, probably once a month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like...
Maybe twice a month, maybe.
Depending on the month, yeah.
Yeah.
But, and so, yeah, basically, right?
First off, if it happens, like, I'm afraid we'll run out of things to talk about.
I suppose that's always a possibility as well. Right, if you don't know what we're talking about, then you probably live under a rock. But tonight we have AEW Rampage, which is their new show on TNT. It's their secondary show. And tonight it is emanating from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Where Chicago, Illinois, if you don't know, is the home of the Chicago Bulls. It's the home of Deep Dish Pizza and
the Cubs.
the Cubs. And one chick magnet punk. Mr. CM Phil Brooks Punk.
Charles Montgomery Punk.
Yeah. Cookie Monster Punk is he is also from Chicago, and if the rumors are to be believed, he has indeed signed a contract for an in-ring return under the AEW banner, which is something that lots of people thought would never ever happen again. I know they say never in wrestling, and I always maintain that. I always say, look, everyone who has said that has come back. Bret Hart came back, Ultimate Warrior came back, Jeff Jarrett came back. They all come back. But Punk was always
he always seemed like he was the one. He always seemed like he was going to be the exception.
It felt like if anyone would not
break
do it,
that mold,
it would be Punk, because he had other avenues to explore, whereas like the likes of Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior, Jeff Jarrett were kind of tied to WWE in a sense that Jarrett not so much because he obviously went away and did his own, but still wrestling. They were tied to wrestling.
Yeah.
Whereas Punk has gone away. He did MMA, to very limited success. He's done.
It got turned to an all contest.
Default. But he obviously started his own comic book. He's broken into Hollywood and movies and TV shows. He's a commentator now for another MMA promotion. CFL. And yeah, he seems to be living a fairly happy, full life.
Yep.
Away from professional wrestling for many, many years. People have pestered him with questions and will he ever come back? What would it take for you to come back? Who would you like to face if you did come back?
Like, I always think about him. I don't always think about it, but I always think when this conversation comes up, like, I've seen must be at least 30 interviews where he's been asked, will you ever come back? 30 times, and that's just interviews. How many times do you think he's being asked a day when he's going out on the street, going out walking?
That's the thing, he can't escape, because he lives in Chicago, as far as I know. So he's gonna run into wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, hey, Mr. Punk. But so yeah, after 7 years and 7 months, it looks like it's finally going to happen. Nothing is confirmed.
It has been heavily
rumored by AEW, heavily hinted at. And okay, let's put the pieces in play here, right? As to how likely this is to happen, because it's still not guaranteed.
Yep.
Keep that in mind, this is still not guaranteed. So, AEW debuted Rampage last week, right?
Yep.
That was their debut show. A fine show. It had some big moments, the likes of Fuego del Sol getting a contract, Christian win the TNA title, whatever. That's fine. Their second show, which is a weird one because it's the second show, is emanating from the United Center, which holds twice as many people as the stadium that's holding All Out. Or the arena, rather, that's holding All Out. Their pay-per-view, their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. They also added today 300 additional seats. They announced today 300 additional seats. Know that. Yeah, they announced that about a couple of hours ago.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. We had a promo from Darby Allin a couple of weeks ago where he said,
referred to the best of the world.
He said, people can come to AEW, everyone can come to AEW, this is where the best competition is, this is where they prove themselves, even if they think they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
And, I'll see you in Chicago kind of thing. And it's been heavily speculated.
Kenny Omega has wore a Cookie Monster t-shirt and a Chick Magnet t-shirt 2 weeks running, which are, for those of you who don't know, are commonly, or what reasons Punk is given for the CM, the initials and what they stand for.
We've had the Young Bucks using CM Punk's offense in their matches.
Yeah.
The running knee into the Bulldog and stuff.
Yeah, and you've had Punk himself then on Punk. Instagram he's put up the tune, the Chicago Bulls, the Sirius tune, which was reference to The Last Dance.
Yeah, which AEW have then, because tonight's episode is called The First Dance.
You then have Punk putting up a quote, which turned out to be Darby, a quote that's on Darby Allin's tattoo.
Yeah. Nothing's over.
You have a lot, and he hasn't.
He put up the dates of the. He put up
05,
11, and 21, which
Summer
05 was the Ring of Honor Summer of Punk, 11 was the WWE Summer of Punk, and now 2021 is it going to be the AEW Summer of Punk?
Yeah, well,
even though we're in
the end of August. Yeah. You fucking, the people are back to school and all. But yeah, no, I get it.
Anyway, all avenues seem to be pointing in the one direction.
This is the danger.
Yeah.
Because we spoke about this privately. No matter what they do tonight, if Punk isn't on that show, it's going to be considered a failure. It's going to be considered a disappointment anyway.
No matter what he does.
No, if Punk isn't on that show.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, yeah,
so
definitely.
If whatever they do without Punk,
it's a failure.
Like if CM Punk isn't on tonight's show, then I seriously worry.
Cancel Rampage now anyway, because that's never going to do viewing ever again.
Yeah, because like we were talking off air, like if they could, like if it isn't Punk, what could they do? And I truly believe, even if it was a Daniel Bryan, even if it was like someone bigger,
Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, whatever, he's the only other one it could be. And at that, I was saying to you, like it'll be like he'll come out and he'll get booed.
I don't know if he'll get booed.
He'll get booed.
But I think people will still be disappointed that it's not Punk.
Yeah, they'll be so disappointed. They'll boo. It's Chicago, remember?
Yeah, but Chicago respect Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson.
Did you see this week's episode of Dynamite? I can't remember the segment. It was like a promo for Rampage, and literally they had, because you know usually when they do these video packages they cut the crowd noise.
Yeah.
They left the crowd noise in, and it was CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk.
And to note as well, and an interesting thing to note as well is on the All Out poster, there's a reference to CM Punk. There's a hand, yeah.
Well, I don't know how much to read into that, because I honestly don't know if it's real or not. I don't know if it was someone's photoshopping ability.
Maybe, but from the poster that I saw, I haven't done much research into it, but if you look into it, there is way too much evidence to suggest that it's not going to happen. Or to not.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, it almost seems guaranteed. Like, and Tony Khan himself has come out on multiple occasions and been like, we all know what's coming on Rampage.
Yes.
It's a new era of AEW.
I worry about that.
But yeah, Tony Khan is turning into a bloody carny.
He has a very bad habit. And Dixie Carter used to it a lot of over-promising things. Yeah. You know, like he said, and there's no disrespect to Christian when he's like, oh, this is going to change AEW. Yeah. And look, it's Christian. Fantastic signing. Not going to move the needle.
Yeah, it's
Christian, know what I mean?
At the end of the day. Like, it's a guy who's been around for, for years.
And a great wrestler, but when you tease these things, people immediately go to Bryan, Punk, Brock.
Yeah, you think of things that can change.
People were suggesting Cena, for God's sakes, at that time.
No, but that's it. When you talk about changing wrestling, like WWE can talk about changing wrestling all they want. They don't have to. Because WWE can do anything they want now because they're WWE. They're established. It's going to be pretty hard for them to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, AEW are this company that are on the rise. They're brand new. In terms of everything else, they are brand spanking new. They're only, nearly 3 years old. That's all. And, and we talked about it in length before. Like, we talked about, we probably speak about 20% of the time with CM Punk. 80% is probably about AEW and all their, all their stuff.
Yeah.
But, AEW are the first people since WCW, not even TNA back in its heyday, WCW, the first viable contender to WWE. And I do say contender because they offer an alternative to WWE. That doesn't mean you can't watch both. We've said this many times, it's not actually a war. You can enjoy both products.
Yes.
But AEW is a viable alternative in the Western audiences for on a TV, major TV with major stars, and when they say we can change wrestling, they actually can, but they need certain elements to do that. Again, sorry to Christian, but he's not one of them. You mentioned 3 of them there, and they're probably the top 3. Punk, Bryan, Brock.
Of free agents.
Free agents, that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, if they got someone like obviously Moxley back in the day was probably one.
Moxley was a huge one. Jericho was a huge one, but you need more than that. Because
this, and yeah, like, because I was watching,
And like, I've no issue with them signing Christian, and like, no issue at all, because he's still fucking great.
yeah,
He's
I
still
mean, the
a
match
great
with
wrestler.
Omega last week
Yeah.
was unbelievable. It was a
But
great
like
match.
I don't rag on AEW as much when they sign people like Paul White or
Yeah, I mean, look,
because people think to like, oh, they're signing all WWE's people. It makes sense because when you're flicking through a channel
and
and you see the big show, you're interested.
I'm
Same with why they have JR, even
Yeah.
though he's not the same Jim Ross.
yeah, but I'm telling you, that actually, no, I can tell you right now from first-hand experience that works. Because I remember being a young fella, flicking through the TV, landing on Spike and seeing Kurt Angle in some fucking random wrestling ring.
Now, Kurt Angle for TNA did actually move the needle. Like, he was.
No, I know, but I remember being like, what? What's Kurt Angle doing?
Like, Kurt Angle, at the time signing for TNA, it was nearly as significant as if Punk has shown up tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was
no,
a
absolutely,
huge signing.
absolutely. But, like, the difference there was Kurt Angle Kurt Angle just went in the 1 year, whereas Punk has been 7 years waiting for Punk. And, like, I was watching, I was telling you that Adam Blampier have released his monthly booking video.
Yeah.
And this month he did CM Punk's AEW debut.
Yeah.
And he said it, like he was saying, it's a weird one for him to do because it's the one time that AEW might actually do it better. Joe, like he always says, he'll do it better.
Yeah.
He says this because it said it's happening tonight and they might actually do it better. But what he was saying is, like, you have Punk. He wants to do a year of Punk instead of a summer of Punk. You do a year of Punk where CM Punk comes out. He wants to turn him heel immediately. And
that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking how long before he turns heel if he does come in.
You have him come out and say, like, I don't care about wrestling anymore. I don't care about fans. I don't care about anything. I'm here for money. If Tony Khan's given me a massive contract, and like, but anyway, you can watch the video yourselves on Parts Unknown if you want to, but I won't go into the whole thing. But like, basically, like, his booking was have him face the likes of, Moxley, Bryan Danielson when he eventually comes in.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega. These names that'll bring in the jaded WWE fan to watch AEW, and then for the AEW, like, bring him in with that, and then have them stay for Hangman versus Omega. You know what I mean? Like, bring them in with this. Look, we have CM Punk, but we also have these guys as well who are actually really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah. Look, we'll see what happens tonight. The balls about Rampage is it starts late. It doesn't start till 3 a.m. And
it's only an hour.
It's only an hour, which is grand, but like it still starts at 3 a.m.
I am going to watch that.
Yeah, I'll stay up for as long as I can. I do have to go to bed early in the morning, but
I've been waiting too long. for
7
this.
years. Like, yeah, I mean, the point I actually said to my mum there just literally an hour ago, I goes, CM Punk's probably going to come back tonight. She was like, thought he said he was never coming back. And I was like,
he's back now.
Look,
Yeah.
I don't know. No, he goes, not with WWE. I mean, he's still sticking to his word, I guess. But, because there's all these big questions then, like, is he coming back? Is he actually going to wrestle? Which you'd assume he is. Who is he going to face?
And Jesus Christ, if they bring him back and he doesn't, if they bring him back as like the analyst on Rampage or a new like Mark Henry's role.
No, he'd have to
Jesus
wrestle.
Christ.
Surely he's in good enough nick as well that he can.
Well, I've heard people say, or I've seen people say that he's obviously had to do a bit of training for heels. And people have said he hasn't missed a step. Like he's and apparently he did that training in the Nightmare Factory.
I heard that, yeah,
with Stephen Amell.
I heard that.
But have you watched that actually?
Heels,
Yeah.
not yet.
I watched the first episode yesterday.
Good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Very good.
It looks good. I watched the trailer and it looked good. Like, I appreciate like the Stephen Amell is a known wrestling fan as well.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
first episode was really compelling. Some of it I'm like, some of it is kind of hokey. You're like, this doesn't really go on.
It's a TV show about wrestling, I suppose. It's kind of...
but it's not even about that. So, like, some of the stuff, like, you just know doesn't actually go on behind the scenes, you know what I mean? But, like, they have to dramatize things and they have to They have to make it compelling, I suppose. But no, it is really, like, the first episode was really, really good. Even the ending of the first episode is good. Once it makes you want to come back for more. So I would recommend it. I think episode 2 came out yesterday, but I haven't got around to watching that. But
it's probably on Disney Plus. It's on Stars, isn't it?
I didn't even check that.
Because I think Disney Plus has Stars now. So I'll have to check myself when I go home. But yeah,
I watched it by illegal means.
You streamed it properly. Anyways, moving swiftly on. So yeah, Punk back tonight. Okay, is he coming back? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I think so.
We've said this before too, though. You know,
and we've never said it this definitively.
Yeah.
I think he's coming back.
I think he is too.
I think they have to. They have to.
They've gone way too far with it otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, to a point that it's not a joke anymore, that you're genuinely toying with people's emotions now at this point.
But it's not only that, you're because it's safe to say, if I was a fan going to the United Centre tonight, it's almost an expectation now. It's not a speculation.
Yeah, like you're going because you're like...
I've been practically promised that CM Punk is going to be here. And if he's not here...
I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So...
Like, the United Centre might be a pile of rubble if he doesn't turn up.
I hope to God they didn't do it just to get eyes on Rampage. Like, that scares me in the sense that, like...
That promised the world now, like...
Yeah, like, the only way I don't see it happening is if they do Bryan instead.
Yeah, which I could see.
But I still think it won't work.
I don't think it'll work.
Still don't think.
I still hope that they do what I hope, and Punk makes his return, or vice versa. Like,
you get like the Triple H,
Undertaker return in 2011. But like, I would love if Tony Khan came out or something and was like, I have a major announcement to make. We have a brand new signing to AEW. You all guys know him. And then brings out Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
And then, like, the fan, like I said, it'll probably be a mixed reaction.
But, like, people will be like, yeah, I'll be let out. And then cult the personality. That'd be cool.
Because, like, you bait and switch him, like.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then we get Bryan and Punk and all out.
I would hope, as the main event. I'm sorry, Omega. I'm sorry, Christian. But you are not going on after that. I don't care if the world title's on the line. Everyone knows that Kenny's beating Christian at that, and like, we know that. Okay, here's the question: if he is coming tonight, and it's more than likely he is. Yeah.
Is his first match at All Out?
It has to be. As well,
considering it's in Chicago as well.
See, I don't know if it does have to be though either, because All Out's already sold out. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to push tickets.
Still pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
Lot of pay-per-view buys you get.
You do pay-per-view buys. Like, if he's competing, I was going to buy it anyway, but, like, I'm definitely going to buy it then.
See, even me,
like Sunday.
But I would make the sacrifice. Like, I'm not convinced at the moment to stay up and watch it.
Yeah, see, this thing, because the card thus far, I know it's not fully announced yet, but thus far...
Isn't great.
It's been fairly meh. Like, we have Pac versus Andrade, which will be a fantastic match. Yeah. That's great. But then Kenny versus Christian, again, it'll be a good match. I know that. We know that because we've seen it already last week.
Which is a weird thing as well, that they gave the match away on free TV.
I suppose it's just the intrigue that Christian can beat Kenny. And
I thought at that time, when they announced that it was going to happen at Rampage again, I thought they were going to do an angle where the Good Brothers and all that would injure Christian, and then we get Hangman.
But see, because that's my point, is that, like, I'm disappointed with that match. That could be anyone else, and I'd be disappointed because it's not Hangman.
Yeah.
And it really seems like this was the moment. Now, unless they're pushing it back to Full Gear and have a 1 year on from their first encounter.
Apparently it's been a contract situation, not...
Yeah, look.
Thing. Because a lot of the AEW contracts are up in January because they all signed 3-year deals.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know.
Which is bizarre, the fact that they signed 3-year deals in January and their first show wasn't until the thing didn't start till October, so they were nearly on a year into their deal.
With nothing done, like.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, it is strange. And then obviously we got the announcement that it'll be QT Marshall versus Paul White, which I really couldn't give less of a shit about. And then they announced the Bucks are going to defend their titles against the winners of this little tag team eliminator
Which would be
tournament.
cool.
Which would be fine.
I just feel like that they've put so much focus now into this first dance.
This is it. It's taken away from the actual pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So much so the only way to recover it is by putting Punk on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and that's the only way you do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of everyone, who do you think is going to be his first match?
In ideally or like realistically?
Realistically, what do you think it is?
Moxley.
Yeah, I think so too.
Moxley, if I'm being realistic.
Moxley's closing the show tonight as well.
He's closing the show against Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, Mr. Garcia, but like,
there's a reason he's closing the show.
You're cannon fodder, like, you know what I mean? Like, look.
And did you see Moxley's promo?
I saw the thumbnail for it and I was going to watch, but I never did.
So he talks a lot about people like from the outside looking in, and people think it's easy to be in AEW, and he's there to prove that it's not easy. And he said like that, once whatever with Danny Garcia or whatever his name is, then people will, or it may turn some people off coming to AEW.
Yeah, because
that seems like a direct shot.
Yeah, it does. Like and the thing is, when Blampier talked about, like, because he does eventually, because he booked like a bunch of feuds for Punk, and he said like one of them will be Moxley because the two of them are actually quite similar. Both guys, you know, indie darlings, joined WWE, left then because they were mistreated. But the difference is Punk went away, whereas Moxley just stayed within wrestling. And you know that's where the differences end.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I mean, Moxley Punk. The only issue I would have with it is like there's only like 2 weeks to do promos, but you could do 2 of the best promos you'll ever hear probably.
2 weeks, but 4 shows now with Rampage.
True, and it gives you a reason to watch Rampage then as well.
Like, just give him a live mic and go.
Yeah. No, I think it's Moxley. Look, it's weird though with Derby. Because they seem to have teased that, but the fact that their
dynamic's strange.
The dynamic is strange.
See, I think he might wrestle Moxley, then turn heel, and then we'll get Punk and Derby.
Yeah, could happen. He might cheat to beat Moxley or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that could happen because I
know that like technically Moxley and Punk is still face versus face, but like it's
but Moxley's a weird face where
Moxley's like an Austin. When it comes
he's
to
a
face.
lunatic.
Like he's a face, but he's a bad dude.
Yeah, he fucks people up like.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting one.
Like I think, like it's weird because like Punk, he's not gonna not get cheered after coming back from 7 years. He's not gonna not get cheered. But I think he should turn heel. I think he should be heel.
He's better heel.
He's a better heel, and I think
he has more fun as a heel. Also.
And yeah, I think if he wants to be happier, if he wants to be happy in wrestling again, let him do what he wants. If he wants to be heel, fucking let him be heel.
It's worth it to point out as well that all members of the Straight Edge Society are now signed to AEW.
Yeah.
I
don't know if that like
except Joe Mercury.
They're all they're all doing very different things though, so I don't know if that even make a difference.
Yeah, but it may be down the road.
Maybe they might do a little Easter egg there somewhere.
Yeah, but it'll be very interesting viewing.
It's just weird that this time tomorrow,
CM Punk
we could be living in a world where Punk is wrestling again. We could be living in a world where CM Punk has a match coming up. On pay-per-view in the main event in his hometown.
It is madness. It really is.
If it doesn't happen, I may never watch wrestling again. Just for fear of being disappointed again. I feel like...
I know it technically probably can't happen. But if it isn't Punk tonight, and it was Bray Wyatt...
no, you can't do that to Bray.
Yeah, poor Bray.
You can't do that to Bray.
He's been through enough.
No.
It can't happen anyway.
Leave Bray. Leave Bray.
I'm just afraid that it's going to be like Ric Flair or something, like someone, you
best
know.
in the world, like
I don't want him coming like CM Punk. Slashing him.
I'm trying to think, like Bray, like
unless you bring out Michael Jordan himself, like unless it's
6'6".
Yeah, like it's either gonna be CM Punk or fucking
Joe, the only other person I would like it to be, for the sheer hilarity
Dennis
of it.
Rodman.
No, not Dennis Rodman. Because it would be so in character as well. Brock Lesnar. Can you imagine if Brock showed up as the best in the world? Because technically he beat the best in the world. He's like, I am the best. I've beaten all the bests. Could you imagine if Brock showed up? The Chicago, can you imagine the heat?
It would get very lot of heat.
And it would be so on brand for Brock because he wouldn't give a fuck. Because what are you gonna do? Is Brock Lesnar? Am I gonna tell him no?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a straight like.
It would be funny. It'd be
hilarious.
That'd be the only thing I could forgive. I'd be okay with that. Even if it's Brian, I won't be okay with that. If it's Brock, I'm alright with that. Because it's Brock.
I don't mind it being someone like Brock and them being portrayed as a heel.
If it's Bun Brock.
But if you're if you're bringing in Daniel Bryan to smile and wave the crowd, he's gonna get eaten alive.
He's gonna get murdered.
Same with Bray would be a different story, but no, it has to be Punk.
You have to do Bray another time. Bray needs his own spotlight.
It has to be Punk.
It has to be Punk. You have built this up way too much.
How big would the pop be? If it is,
it'll probably be the biggest pop in wrestling
ever.
Do
you really think?
I think it probably will be.
Like,
it's a capacity.
What would you consider? What would you consider now
the biggest pop
in wrestling history?
There's a few contenders. I think Davey Boy winning the title in Wembley, when the IC title in Wembley's up there.
Triple H and Madison Square Garden.
Triple H and Madison Square Garden's up there. Cena returning, both Cena returns, the Money in the Bank return and the Rumble return in 08, both up there.
Austin when he joined Mankind and Rock.
And maybe Mankind actually winning the title as well.
Yeah.
Austin's return at, was it No Way Out?
Against Bischoff.
No,
the one with Rikishi.
The one with Rikishi.
Yeah.
That return.
There's been a few of Austin's because there's the one with the Invasion as well. You know, where it's like, I need the old Stone Cold.
Yeah, that one too. That one's up there. Who else is there now? I'm trying to think. There's definitely a few. AJ's debut
the Rumble
is up there. I'm trying to think now what else. There's loads. There's loads of contenders, but I genuinely
Mox at
Punk himself at Money in the Bank 2011, his entrance and his victory.
Mox
at Double or
Nothing.
There's loads of contenders, but I genuinely think this would be a new level of noise. Like, it's a capacity crowd in Chicago. CM Punk.
Because that's the thing. Like, you're talking about Money in the Bank 2011.
Which was in Chicago.
Like, it surely trumps that.
I would, yeah. I think we're going to be talking about the biggest pop in wrestling. 100%. It would, I think it's going to be a level of noise. Because, Jordan, even if it's not the biggest pop in wrestling, it'll probably be the most sustained pop in wrestling. I don't think the noise will stop. I think it'll be hard for them to get a
word people are chanting CM Punk in arenas now, 7 years after he left. 7 years.
Because, and the thing is as well, the difference with Punk, I find, is that, and I've said this before, he was a guy in a time when wrestling, obviously, wrestling, we came out of the attitude era, went to the ruthless aggression or whatever, but there was it was just a slow decline in fans. More and more people dropped off. Punk was the only person in a time in wrestling who actually brought people back.
Yeah.
With what he was saying and what he was doing. He was the only person for years, since Austin probably, who brought people back. And for him to be gone, for him to leave at the height of his career, and to not be seen, we've lost 7 years of CM Punk promos, CM Punk matches, CM Punk rivalries, title victories, heel turns, face turns. We've lost that, and we'll never get that back. But we could get a return.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
It will be insane.
The thing that we thought would never happen. The one thing in wrestling, they say never, and especially in wrestling. But it's the one thing that we genuinely thought would never ever happen.
Yeah.
And now it genuinely could be about to. And if it doesn't, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to react to that.
I'll be so deflated. I'll be depressed watching SummerSlam tomorrow.
That's the thing. You have to go into SummerSlam then tomorrow, and just be disappointed. Like, not with WWE for a change.
But this is the thing, right? This is the thing. This seems like such a significant weekend just in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like that Sunday or Monday, let's say, when it's all said and done. Like, we could be looking at, like, this could be like the start of a new, like, revolution of wrestling. Like, you're talking, okay, this, like, we've been gone on for 40 minutes. SummerSlam weekend is meant to be our SummerSlam episode, and we haven't talked about WWE once. Yeah. Like, that'll tell you how big wrestling outside of WWE is getting. And obviously there's been a lot of talk internally with WWE and all that, but let's not forget, they have the biggest card of the year this year in front of the first full capacity stadium in year and a half. Yeah. You have the main event is like has the biggest big fight feel of a main event in a long time in wrestling. You're talking like you have you've Seth Rollins versus Edge on this
7 years in the making.
Yeah, you have the rematch from the best match of this year's WrestleMania with Bianca and Sasha. You have fucking loads. Like, this is we are spoiled with wrestling this year. Yes, and fucking Goldberg is wrestling. You've Goldberg and Bobby Lashley, which is a match 5 years ago you would have thought is fucking bizarre. Yeah. Like, both who didn't wrestle in WWE 5 years ago. Like, you're 6-7 years ago, whatever. Like, you're talking, what a bizarre weekend we have ahead of us.
But yeah, because that's the thing, because it also feels like the Punk thing. Punk to come back now. And I mean, on this particular show, it feels like an AEW ploy to get some not eyes off SummerSlam because they're not on the same night, but also to draw attention away from SummerSlam. Because
I don't even think it's drawing attention away from SummerSlam. I think it's just more so. I think it's to piggyback on SummerSlam because SummerSlam gets so much press.
Yeah,
it's second to WrestleMania in terms of the amount of press it gets. So
my point being is that it's not a coincidence that it's happening now.
No.
And WWE, and even way before the Punk rumor started, there was talk that WWE were going to make this SummerSlam the WrestleMania this year. This was going to be a WrestleMania caliber card because they couldn't do WrestleMania properly again this year. They did it a bit better than last year because of there were some fans there, whatever, but they still couldn't do it properly. This time it's going to be proper, and it's going to be indoors, capacity crowd.
Legs are seizing up.
He's getting so excited he's cramping.
Cramping from sitting down.
So like SummerSlam, it's a big card for and then obviously TakeOver on Sunday. Poor TakeOver for a change. TakeOver is the one that's not going to be talked about at all. Probably, well, it will be, but not. TakeOver will probably be the least high point of the weekend. Which is a weird sentence to say.
Yeah, like there was a time where it was the main.
Yeah, everyone looked forward to the takeover, but this year, for this particular takeover, just the hype isn't there, for many reasons. But look, we'll wrap up on CM Punk because we've gone on for nearly 45 minutes now on just CM Punk, and I'm sure we'll probably do an episode next week about the fall of the Rampage, whether it be good or bad. we might have to retire this podcast if it doesn't come back, because what else are we meant to talk about?
We won't be able to do a podcast anyway because if it doesn't happen, the mic's going out the window. Everything, my whole room is going out the
So stay tuned to look. If you want to do anything, watch AEW Rampage tonight, because odds are, if you're a betting person, I like those odds. This is the most
likely it's ever been.
It probably is. I think the last time was probably All In. Because there was so much kind of question marks about All In.
Yeah, and even at that, it wasn't even rumours, it was a speculation.
It was just people were like, oh, well, this seems like
no one like Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp came out and said, no, he's training to come back. But this time they're saying that.
This time, there's actual genuine reports from viable reporters
Yeah.
saying, yeah, he's
Now
training.
it just seems like it's a matter of when, not if.
Yeah,
And tonight is,
the win.
or tonight it's heavily speculated as the when. But even if he doesn't turn up tonight, I think he does turn up in some capacities at some stage. But it's the fact that
It'd probably be all out. Like.
yeah, but it's the fact that they've hyped this so much.
It has to be.
They
now.
have to
No,
deliver.
I'm sorry. No, it can't be any other night. I don't care. I don't care if he shows up on Dynamite in 3 days' time, or whatever, 4 days, whatever. It has to be now.
Yeah.
It can't
Well,
be
you
any
Tony
other day.
Khan last night saying, like, tweeting that tomorrow is the biggest day in AEW history.
Yeah, like it's their B show.
Yeah, like
you know
you're
what I mean?
talking. Yeah, and it's not even the first show. It's the second. Like it's a random show. Like it's not as if it's like traditionally a high point. Like it's not like the first show. You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
second show.
Yeah. So it's
second
hard
show.
to call it the biggest night in their history.
The second show that they've called the first dance.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll park the CM Punk talk there. Yeah. Maybe for the final time. I'm gonna get emotional here when we're talking about.
This might be the last time we talk about is CM Punk returning, and the next time will be CM Punk has returned.
Yeah.
Which is weird. That's a weird thing. Like in the time we've had this podcast, we've never ever like talked about CM Punk in an actual wrestling capacity.
Yeah.
It's mad.
The only time we would have done it is on the review shows.
Yeah.
When we watched them wrestle,
Yeah.
like, but no.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to SummerSlam because
No, SummerSlam's a good card.
SummerSlam's actually good.
It is. I'm excited
Well,
for SummerSlam.
kind of. Some matches we were kind of like, bleh. But there's the matches that are big make up for the matches that are. Bleh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just run into the card straight away because there's a handy few matches. There's 10 matches so far announced. I'm trying to think of like, is there anything that get announced tonight on SmackDown? The only one I could think to see is maybe Baron Corbin versus
Balor.
Big E. No, Big E.
Oh. What's the story about is
Balor.
yeah, he was feuding with Corbin for his...
Kind of, sort of. So, like, yeah, you saw obviously.
So
He was
is
meant to-
Balor not on this card? No.
No.
That's weird considering he just came back.
But there's a lot of people on, like Kevin Owens isn't on this card, Nakamura's not on this card, Sami Zayn isn't on
Maybe
this
they'll
card.
do like a battle royal type thing. Or
Maybe, but
maybe
like,
they'll bring back the armbar.
they could.
Like they have SmackDown tonight to announce it. Like,
Yeah.
so.
My
Oh no,
only-
they did the armbar this year, didn't they?
yeah, Jimmy
They did it on
Uso or Jey
SmackDown.
Uso.
Yeah,
Jey
they
Uso,
did it on
yeah.
SmackDown. Yeah.
The only thing I could see is, unless Balor is geared up to be the number one contender for after SummerSlam, because he did technically get robbed of his opportunity. Which is like, yeah, that's what I think is probably going to happen. But, because Corbin's kind of entered into a few Big E now because he robbed his briefcase. Did you see, speaking of Baron Corbin, did you see Xavier Woods? Said he's the best thing in wrestling at the moment.
He's fantastic.
It's so
He's
good.
Did you see that video that they did?
Where it's him
Backstage,
like, yeah,
and he's trying to get in, and your man doesn't recognize him.
That's me on the bus.
One of the best things WWE has produced in
It's
the last
really
year.
good.
It's fantastic. Like.
And what's brilliant about it
It was
is,
on their TikTok. That's where it was originated.
it was like, that's me on the bus.
He's fantastic with it.
What's brilliant about it, I think, is he doesn't like it's a babyface gimmick. It's a down on their luck guy who's trying to catch a break, but he's making it heel. You don't want to see him catch a break.
yeah.
It's funny, and like, because I was like, are they turning Corbin face? Is that what this is? And
it
then,
looked like at the start. Remember when the Dirty Dogs
like wedged or robbed his wallet or something. Yeah,
and they shot him in the balls. And
Yeah,
then Kevin Owens helped him or whatever. It looked like they were turning him face, and then all of a sudden he just became a bad person again.
yeah. Then he turned to thievery.
Yeah.
But so he robbed Big E's briefcase in attempt because he's going to use it to cash in now. So I can see that being a match for SummerSlam that they might announce now and just literally be like
For the briefcase.
No, not even for the briefcase. There's literally Big E crushing Baron Corbin then taking it back.
Yeah.
I would even say the briefcase beyond the line, but because what right does Corbin have to?
True.
Actually?
Hey, possession is 5/10 of the law, or whatever that is. That
So-
saying goes.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get into the actual care of the matches that are actually announced. So we'll kick things off with just a straight singles match in the women's division. Now, this is one of the matches I'm feeling kind of bleh about, but look, it is what it is. It's Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. Yeah.
We're going to get some spooky bollocks.
There's going to be some spooky shit, because this past week on Raw, was it? Or last week? Doudrop was the guest on Alexa's Playground, and they were told this shit with Lily, where she was like, ugh.
Yeah.
So she's scared of Lily. So yeah, who do you have in mind?
I'm going Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just
Yeah.
know,
See, it's a
they
weird
seem
one.
very high on that character.
Yeah.
Which it's okay. Like, but
Yeah, it's fine.
it could be a way better.
It's a cheap it's a cheap replacement for Wyatt kind of thing.
Yeah.
But which is bad because I really like Alexa Bliss. I'm a big fan of Alexa Bliss, and I feel bad. I don't feel bad that she has this gimmick now because I think she does it well. But like, I feel like everyone would just go, "You're not Bray."
But see, she was good when she was a complement to Bray.
Yeah.
When she accompanied Bray.
Yeah.
But now you're replacing Bray. It's not her fault, obviously.
Yeah,
But now you're Bray, basically, and nobody's gonna do it as good as he does.
No, sadly. But anyway, yeah. I mean, like Eva Marie's whole shtick is that she can't wrestle. She's bad at it. That's her whole thing.
Perception becoming reality.
Yeah, basically, like they're just using her weaknesses as her strengths, I guess. I think what'll happen
Need to
is...
remind everyone that they have released Ruby Riot, and now we're going to employ someone and make the world know that she can't wrestle.
I think what'll happen is there'll be some possession of Dewdrop or something at some point. She'll be used against Eva Marie, which will lead to that split. But Bliss will pick up the win here. I think Alexa Bliss is
Wrestling is fun.
I think Alexa Bliss is going to be the catalyst for that split, and Dewdrop becoming Piper Niven again, hopefully. Getting rid of that stupid name. But yeah, Alexa Bliss is winning, I think, as well. Yeah, I can't see I genuinely don't think Eva will ever pick up a victory in WWE. I don't think it'll ever happen. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll move on. Next up, it is the Raw Tag Team Championships match. A match that I'm actually looking forward to. It is AJ Styles and Omos defending their titles against RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle. Who do you have in mind?
Going AJ Styles and Omos.
No, you heartless bastard! Why? I guarantee I know what you're going to say. I guarantee I know what you're going to say.
I think Riddle's going to turn on
That's
Orton.
exactly what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
I thought, because a lot of people are speculating that this is the Bruiserweights 2.0, where they're like going to continue, because that feud never got to or that story never got to actually end, climax.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to get it, because I did like how they did it. It looked like Randy turned on him, and then Riddle still came out to help him, and he was like, "Ah, right, fine.
Yeah.
You got my respect." I liked it.
I just think it'll be very. I'm afraid that WWE will just have Randy turn on him and it just makes him look like an idiot, and that's very WWE. But I like the idea of a heel Riddle. Like, have you ever seen his heel run evolve?
No.
His heel run evolve is fucking fantastic. It was kind of like,
hard to picture him as a heel.
It's a bit like how Kurt Angle was as a heel, where like he's a bit goofy still, but like he'll kick your ass. Like So it'll be an interesting one. But yeah, I think Riddle's going to turn on Randy, and AJ Styles and Omos are going to continue.
Fuck. No.
How many defenses have they had since they won the belts at Mania?
A few.
Really?
Yeah, no, a good few. I mean, they've mostly been on like Raw and stuff. Yeah. You know, like they're in a fairly long feud with the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because the thing is, I could see Styles and Omos continuing, because I don't think they want to give Omos a loss here.
No.
As well.
Unless you have AJ.
I think that, like, if it does happen,
AJ lose,
I think if it does happen, AJ's taking the pin.
And then you have like dissension there, and you go into Omos versus AJ.
Yeah,
for
but then,
Survivor Series maybe.
Yeah, but then how ready is Omos, for a match? You know what I mean?
Fuck it, anyone could be ready for a match with AJ. Like, AJ could wrestle a fucking broom. Like,
that's true.
But no, it's what you do after that then is
see, that's the issue with him. Yeah. I'm going RK Bro anyway, because I love nice things and I want to be happy. Bro. I'm going for a feel good show here.
Randy.
You make me so happy, Randy. Nah, because look, they might still do the Bruiserweights thing, and I think they might still do. I think Riddle might still turn on him down the line. Yeah. But give him a title run at least.
Yeah. I'll give credit to WWE here. Like, I'm just going from WrestleMania to SummerSlam. They've booked Riddle a lot better. Like, he was painful going into WrestleMania. He's been very good. They've done well with him.
Like I've said often, he's been the best part about Raw. Like, he's definitely been very
I think a lot of it has to do with Randy. I think because Randy Orton's in that segment, like I think Randy has a lot more leeway, so Randy can tell the Raiders to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like and
he's a good ply for Riddle as well. He's so serious.
Riddle does the serious and funny guy. Like he pairs well with a serious guy.
Yeah.
Like him and Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
The Broserweights was brilliant.
Excellent, yeah. But no, I'm going for an RK Bro victory, new tag team champions.
I genuinely could.
I think double RKO to maybe a double RKO to Omos to take him out, and then they finish off Styles or something. But yeah, I want them to win. I'm really loving this tag team. Next up is another match that I'm kind of like bleh about, and I'm scared for your response for this match because I have a feeling you might want to see stuff go wrong here. It is Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal, with the stipulation that Veer and Shanky, Jinder's boys, are banned from ringside. Who do you have and why? And if you utter the words Jinder Mahal, I'll punch you right in the face.
No, I've Drew.
Okay.
No, I've Drew.
No, do you know why I thought you might pick Jinder?
Why?
Right? Because supposedly so, Goldberg has come out and said that he wants a match with Jinder Mahal. Supposedly Jinder is like a dream opponent for him.
What?
He said it on the bump. And
also they're building to Saudi Arabia.
I'm scared now that Goldberg will win the title, and then Jinder will pick up a win here, and then it'll be Jinder and Goldberg at Saudi, with Jinder winning.
I didn't know it. Could? Genuinely could.
That's what I'm worried about.
Because you'd have Jinder as champ then, and you could have Drew chase.
But see, Drew could do it with Goldberg as well. It's only Lashley he can't challenge.
But we've seen Drew and Goldberg.
I don't know.
And why the fuck would Goldberg... Why the fuck else would Goldberg go on the pump and say that he wants to wrestle Jinder?
Yeah, because the thing is, because I watched Cultaholics Predictions.
It's bizarre.
I watched Cultaholics Predictions, and Andrew Hodgkinson's theory was that Jinder will come out and be like, I did what you couldn't do, and I beat Drew McIntyre. And that'll be his like way to get a title shot. But
a meathead Goldberg will take the bait.
Yeah. But I don't think Jinder's winning here because God no. They tried it. They tested that experiment and it didn't work. They think just if they supersize the Bollywood boys.
You've convinced me I'm going Jinder.
Fuck's sake, what did I open my mouth?
Because my thing is, if you have Drew win here, what do you do with him?
I don't know. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Like,
because you can't give him Lashley again.
No, you can't. He signed an agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going Jinder. I'm going to go Jinder. I think we might get Jinder and Goldberg at Saudi.
I thought we were getting a WrestleMania style thing. Like, this is meant to be feel. I'm going Drew because I can't live in a world.
We are getting a WrestleMania style thing. Remember WrestleMania 36 or 35?
35, yeah.
The Fatal 4-Way when everyone wanted Rusev.
Oh,
Jinder won.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is WrestleMania. Caliber.
Jinder victory. No, I mean, I'm going Drew. Because they tried that experiment with Jinder. It didn't work. It's not working again. It's definitely not going to work with time. It hasn't aged well. So yeah, not going there. Next up, it is the United States Championship match. It is the United States Champion Sheamus defending his title against Damian Priest. Who'd you have and why?
I'm looking forward to this match because I think it'll be a good match, but they've done nothing with Priest since.
Well, it's weird. They've had him feud with The Miz and Morrison still.
Yeah.
Why? I think it's because Sheamus still has that like facial injury.
Yeah.
Which they kind of played into his character now, but also, I don't know, is it to avoid him getting physical?
I'm going to go Priest because I feel like that he needs it more. He needs to do something.
I'll go on Priest as well. I think
Sheamus had a good run. Sheamus.
It's been entertaining.
Sheamus is class.
Do you see Priest has been ending his matches with the bro kick as well?
Yeah.
So, maybe that's how they do it.
Yeah.
He beats him with the bro kick. And also, yeah, I think like Priest has had a very good year.
I think this will be a good match.
It'll be a very good match, I think. I think they'll complement each other well. But I am going Damian Priest to become new champion.
Yeah.
I think 2022 will be a big year for him as well. I think it'll be, I think it will be looking at him as, a main eventer next year. Next up, it is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. It is the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, defending their titles against Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Who do you have and why?
The Usos. I don't think Rey and Dom. I think we might actually get a bit of dissension. Like we might start to see.
I was thinking we might see the Dom turn here.
I don't think we'll see the turn. I'm not predicting the turn because I've already predicted Riddle to turn.
Yeah.
So I'm not predicting the turn. But I will. I think the way it'll be done, because WWE love doing this, is, you know, Ray will look like he has him, and then Dom will, you know, slap and in you go, and then he'll get rolled up. Tip him on the head.
Good boy.
Good dad. And then he'll go in and get rolled up or lose.
I think it's something that sounds very feasible.
And then it'll start.
Yeah,
I think we'll get it at Survivor Series. Yeah. I'm actually, if they don't do the brand warfare thing, I think Survivor Series has potential to be a good card.
I don't think they will do the brand warfare thing because it looks like they're hyping up. The whole gimmick behind the show will be The Rock's 25th anniversary. And
yeah, but they did the Undertaker's fireman last year.
Was that last year?
That was last year. Yeah, that was in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, but I suppose that might have been due to circumstances of.
And you had the fake crowd noise chant one more match.
Well, they chanted one more match. I can't remember.
Chanting everything.
Yeah, no, I agree that it's going to be the Usos retaining. I think you need to keep them strong. You know, with now at the moment.
Definitely.
And especially if there's talk of The Rock coming back in November, do you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and I agree as well. I think we will see either dissension in the ranks or a potential heel turn for Dominic here.
Yeah.
Depending on how the Riddle thing goes. But yeah, Usos retain their titles here, I think. Next up, it is a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. It is Raw Women's Champion Nikki ASH defending her title against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Who do you have in mind?
Charlotte.
Are you just saying that because it's Charlotte? Or are you using logic?
Using logic is going with Charlotte. That is
no, honestly though, do you honestly, are you just saying Charlotte now, or do you actually think she's going to win?
I think she's going to win. Yeah, I do. If reports it to be led, Nikki Ash isn't getting the best reaction on the house shows. Obviously a good gimmick. She could genuinely, Charlotte can go back and forth. Like she could take the belt off Charlotte again. Rhea's not winning.
She's taking the fall.
Rhea, I think,
because I feel like Rhea hasn't been in this feud at all.
No,
I feel like it's been between Charlotte and Nikki.
Yeah,
and Rhea's just there.
And I genuinely think Charlotte's gonna win.
No, I think Rhea's there to make sure that doesn't happen. I think we'll get something similar to take over in your house, where it'll be Charlotte will have the figure 8, and then Nikki will come off the top with a splash and 1, 2, 3.
Maybe. I'll just hedge my bets and go with Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's always the safe bet, but no, I'm gonna go Nikki ASH to retain, just because of the triple threat rules. I think that's there in place to get her to make sure she retains, and then I think we get her and Charlotte probably at Extreme Rules in a rematch, and Charlotte probably beats her there. I say.
I saw people saying that if it does go to Extreme Rules, they should have a street fight, and they should do the Mick Foley thing. You know, when coming up to the Royal Rumble, when he did the promo as Mankind, and then changed to Cactus Jack. Yeah. She should do that and go back to Nikki Cross.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I saw some people being like Nikki cheats to win, and the seed's been sown for her to turn into a supervillain.
Yeah,
and, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, look, it's WWE. I know that the message behind the character is always is good and all that, but I still have it in my head that she's gonna eventually turn into a supervillain and damn you kids and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go Nikki to retain. Next up, we're getting to the big matches now. I'm gonna call them the big 4 because there's 4 big matches. The first is a match, like I said, 7 years in the waiting. Edge versus Seth Rollins. Who do you have in mind?
I think this might be match of the night. I'm excited to see this match.
There's a few candidates for that.
Yeah, there is, which always is the making of a good card, but I think they might blow this out of the park. I think for Edge, and there's no disrespect to anyone else he's wrestled, I think Seth Rollins is the person the match he's wanted, the person who can give him the best match.
Yeah.
One of the best matches. So I think for Edge, I think he's excited for this. It's probably something he's been dreaming about doing for 7 years, as you said. I think Edge is winning. I think you need to give Edge a big match or big kind of win, because if you haven't keep loses its value, and Seth can take a loss.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get Edge, and I think then they'll go to Extreme Rules. I think Edge, I think this might be like a trio of matches, and Seth will win the feud, but the big match is obviously the SummerSlam match. So I think Edge is gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you just said there. I think Edge is winning too. Same reasons. Like, I think he needs a big win. Like, he lost at Mania, he lost the Money in the Bank. You know, he because he's wrestling so scarcely, he does need a victory every now and again.
Yeah. Especially
because he's Edge and he's a baby. Like, he's kind of a tweener, but he's a babyface in this feud.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rollins is at that stage where he can eat a lot and be fine, because he's Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You know, he's always going to be top guy. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens after the match. I do think that they'll go to Extreme Rules. I don't know if it'll go past that, but I think they will get like a gimmick match at Extreme Rules, whether that's Falls Count Anywhere or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I think Edge is winning, definitely. Next up is the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It is SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair defending her title against Sasha Banks in a WrestleMania rematch. Who do you have in way?
I got Sasha Banks. I think it's what makes the most sense. Give them one match each, and then you can either take the rubber match to Survivor Series or Mania. I don't know. I don't think the rubber match will happen right away. Because I think the match has been too big.
Yeah.
Now for it to be at Extreme Rules, I think they want to keep these two special.
Separate, yeah.
So I think Sasha wins, and I think we don't see Bianca for a while. I think she takes a bit of time off. Then I think next SmackDown,
Becky.
I think we get, or even after this match, I think we get it lends to Becky versus Sasha.
Because we haven't gotten that yet on the main roster either. Becky and Sasha.
It's a fresh feud. Yeah. So
actually, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, I actually completely forgot about Becky.
Yeah. So I think we get Becky soon. I think she is for Sasha and Bianca, because I want this story to continue. I don't want it for Bianca to beat her again and to be over. I want to see them have a third match. So
the majority of people I've seen have said Bianca's winning because she's on a roll and she's been very good. She has, but I agree with you. I think Sasha should win. Yeah. I think it makes more sense because like that. I think it sets up a rubber match down the line, whether it's at the Rumble or next year's Mania or something.
Yeah.
Do 1-1. I think Sasha wins here. I think she might use Zelina Vega and Carmella, who have been.
Yeah, it might be a clean win.
Yeah, they've been kind of sort of her lackeys the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think they might help her get the win under the premise that she'll give them a title shot. And then I think Sasha will be like, nah.
It's not even that. I wouldn't even mind that. I wouldn't even mind a couple of months where we see Sasha, Carmella, and Sasha and Vega.
I think Extreme Rules, it'll be a fatal four-way between all four women.
Maybe.
Because, it's a stipulation.
Yeah.
And then, but I would use it to keep Sasha and Bianca as separate as possible. Like, have it be Sasha, Zelina, Sasha,
having like not touch.
Yeah, basically. Use it to keep them separate. And then, Sasha will retain in that match by pinning one of the other two women or whatever. And then it'll build to whenever their rubber match will be.
Yeah.
Where Bianca would hopefully get the win back, I would say. But yeah, no, I do think Sasha's winning here. I think it makes sense. I think it does make sense. Next up, I don't know why I'm going to ask you this because I already know your answer. It's the WWE Championship match between WWE
Goldberg.
Champion...
Goldberg.
Bobby Lashley defending his title against Goldberg. Yeah. See, I was all for Lashley winning this. I still am. I want him to win. But they brought his stupid fucking son into it. And...
Yeah, I think that's where it's going. I think Lashley's going to get too involved with the son. The son's going to smack him. Yeah.
Stupid Gage.
I think Goldberg's going to win. Gage, who grew up Too fast.
Gage who's aged about 20 years in the last 4.
Have you seen the new Rick and Morty episodes?
No, not yet. No.
There's an episode where there's like this door, but it's like a subplot to the main story of the episode, so it's not really spoiling anything. There's this like door where Rick puts like these like wine. It's like time is meant to go so faster in this dimension. So it's like a door and there's another dimension in there. But what Rick does is he puts wine in there so it ages like really, really quickly. And he asks like Morty to come back or whatever. But like the plot is like Morty is like interacting with like everyone in there. But he thinks he's interacting with like the same person, but it's actually like each time he goes back and forth, he's interacting with like generations of people. Like he goes through like 15 years or 15 generations. But it's like that. It's fucking.
That's it. Yeah, that like Gage entered into some interdimensional shit.
Yeah, it's like that. He entered like stayed there for 5 minutes and grew up fucking 7 years.
It's like Joe, the Chronicles of Narnia. Joe, like they age mental at the end of the movie. But yeah, I really don't want
to. Like Oak.
Oisin Goldberg.
Yeah, Gage fell off his horse.
Yeah. I really don't want Goldberg to win here. I really don't want it, but it feels like he is.
Because we are going to Saudi Arabia soon.
October, apparently. And yeah, the more I think about them, I think Jinder might win. Actually, the other match, but
yeah, I think we're.
It's going to be Goldberg Jinder. Like he's literally he called him out on the bump. How specific is that? How specific is
that?
Jinder?
Is so weird. I didn't even know about that until you told me.
I didn't know, but I didn't see it, but they were on about it on Cultaholic. That's where I heard about it. That like, and I was
such a random. Very
I don't want Lashley's reign to end with fucking Bloodbug, and like
but you didn't want the Fiend's end to reign to end. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't want bloody Baldberg to come in and beat Bald Bob.
Bill Dad, Gold Dad, Gold Granddad nearly.
He's that's the thing. Like the Fiend's so old and his child's still only like 15.
Yeah.
So yeah, look. I'll go Goldberg, new WWE champion. I checked the bookies odds, and Lashley's the favourite by like a good bit.
Don't check the bookies odds. Don't do that.
No, I know.
So stop. That's spoiling. Stop. Spoilies!
No, but they had all like the obvious ones, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but bookies odds change.
Probably
very
if I check them now, or
don't look at it anymore. Or at least don't tell me.
Sorry. But, alright, jeez.
I hate bookies odds. Hate it. Hate it when it comes to wrestling.
And finally, the main event. It is the Universal Championship match. It is Universal Champion Roman Reigns defending his title against John Cena. Wabadoo. Does John Cena win his 17th World Championship? Does he break the record? Who'd you have in mind?
Right. Okay.
Oh, he's got.
I came prepared.
Strap in.
Okay, so I was thinking about this,
right?
And I was thinking, I argued both sides in my own head.
Yeah.
So I played devil's advocate a bit. I was like, they could get traction with Cena winning. Would be a nice, little bump for Roman. Then at the same time, I was like, Roman's beaten him before.
Yeah.
So you could go, 1-1. You go 1-1, then you whatever, watch them way.
To that point, though, I feel like that first match is being counted as like The Undertaker Triple H WrestleMania 17 match.
It's just swept under.
It's like that never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've got that feeling also, which has landed me to this conclusion.
Okay.
From what I've concluded. So.
What have you concluded in your conclusion?
So I thought about the Firefly Funhouse match. Was the last match technically Cena was in.
Yeah.
And he gave Bray Wyatt so much in that.
Yeah.
And what they did with it was terrible. Like he made
Bray in the aftermath kind of thing.
Yeah, like what WWE did with it. Like he gave them a superstar on a platter.
Yeah.
And then they took the platter.
He took the John Cena character and systematically destroyed it essentially.
Yeah, for this character, for the good of the business.
Yeah.
And they took the platter, dumped the platter down the toilet, pulled down their pants, and shit all over the platter, right? So, you know...
Yeah, that's basically what they did.
And I've seen in his interviews, like, he comes across to me in his interviews a little bit frustrated with that.
Cena.
Yeah, because if you heard him, he's talking about, like, it's damaging the business the longer they hang on to me and all
that their prospects are too old and all this kind of stuff.
So I thought... Like, alright, Roman's already beaten him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But now Roman is much bigger star than what he was.
Yeah, Roman now is a different...
Roman is the star now.
Yeah.
So I just say, what more could you do to
elevate
propel
Roman,
this Roman?
Yeah.
So I think Roman Reigns is going to be the first person to tap out John Cena. I think he's going to tap out John Cena.
Yeah.
He's going to make the never give up guy give up.
That's cool. It did cross my mind for like a millisecond where I was like, will he use the guillotine? I was like, will he use the guillotine? Nah, he won't use the guillotine.
I think he's going to tap out John Cena.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could do it like, you know, what they did with Undertaker and Brock, where it was kind of like a schmoz finish, and then, but at the end you saw the video of him tapping.
Yeah.
They might do it that way, that he doesn't officially lose by submission, but you see him tap.
There might be a ref bump or something.
Something like that.
Or like the positioning's weird or something.
But I think he's going to make John Cena tap out.
I mean, like you said, if we're all going to live under the assumption that Roman's winning here, which I think he is.
Yeah.
I'd be fairly certain that he is. Yeah, it does beg, because I did think about it. Like, they haven't referenced their 2017 match at all.
No.
And like, to the point where I am thinking that it is that Triple H WrestleMania match with the Undertaker in 2001, where it was just like it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
It didn't really happen. Two different guys, two different stages of their career, whatever. Same here. Like, Roman is on top of his game. The best he's ever been.
It's not the same Roman Reigns as it was in No Mercy 2017.
Yeah, and it's not the same John Cena, because it's a John Cena who's even more out of wrestling than he was back then.
Yeah.
And I think if there's ever, like, what's he going to do? Like, squash Cena? Like, which we've seen before with Brock. You know, like, it'll be impactful. I don't doubt that if he did that. If it was simply that. If he went out and squashed him, they should just beat the shit out of him. No offense in for Cena whatsoever. It would be impactful, and I think it would be good. But the way you put Roman... Yeah, we've seen
that twice in the last 10 years.
What was the other thing?
Taker.
Oh, Taker, yeah. But the only thing that'll elevate Roman to God tier, to the point where, like, he's untouchable, is, if he taps him out. And...
Because I've always thought that. I've always thought at the end of Cena's career, someone should make him tap.
Yeah.
Because his whole career has been based off never give up. So what? Like, it's like the Undertaker's streak. Like, he
has to give it up at some point.
Yeah. So
it's a huge thing to give someone to elevate them.
Huge.
And I mean, I want that.
I genuinely believe this. If this isn't it for Cena, he only has a handful of matches left in him.
I don't think it's it for him. But I
think we're closing in on it.
It's closing. No, it is. I don't get me wrong. I think we are, but I do think he will get that 17th title.
Maybe.
I think he will. Somewhere down the line. Not now. I really don't want it to be the Universal Championship.
The thing is, if Roman does tap him out here, like, he can't come back as the same Cena. No. He can't come out with the towel that says never give up.
No, he'd
have to change his character a little.
I think he would. I think he'd come out in, like, normal clothes, in, like, not his weird Cena clothes.
Not his weird Cena clothes. Not his everyday clothes. Just normal, regular person clothes.
You know, I saw the Suicide Squad actually like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And do you remember that picture that was going around of him in the polo and the thing? He wears that in the movie. That wasn't his actual clothes.
Oh, was it? Okay.
No, he wears...
It's that long ago that they filmed that. Yeah. That's been going on for years.
Yeah, no, that was a costume for the movie.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I ever seen it going, that looks awfully familiar. Because the thing was, in my head I was going, they just dressed Cena as himself. Because the thing is, they have to like blend in. This isn't really spoilers, but they have to blend in to look like tourists on this island, and they dress Cena like they dress him all in like stupid clothes, and like Cena's in this polo shirt that's too small for him, and these really short jorts and these like sneakers. And I was like, why is he dressed as himself? And
but did you just turn up for work that day and they were like, oh, what you're wearing is perfect.
oh, you came in costume. What? Really good movie actually. He's very good in it.
I have to see it.
Yeah, he's very good in it.
See it.
But yeah, he's really funny in it too. But yeah. So, anyways, he'll show up in his regular clothes. I'm assuming, just like he did at WrestleMania with the Undertaker.
His jeans,
jeans and a t-shirt kind of thing.
He'd be wearing long pants.
Yeah.
It's enough for
so he's serious.
Yeah.
And then when it's time for match time, he just rips off the lower end of his pants.
No, he's not even ripping off. He'll have those zip pants. He'll just be hold on.
Yeah, I want that now. I really want that. That's the way it should end.
I put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah,
this
that's
week.
definitely how it should go. Like I said, I thought about it for just a millisecond.
A lot of time I should have been working and I put a lot of thought into it.
I thought about it for like a millisecond, and then I was like, nah, never. And then I was like, no, it definitely should.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. And it definitely should happen.
And you have the guy to do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Roman is that badass. Like, Roman is, like, because that's the thing. Roman isn't some chicken shit heel. He is the way he is because he knows how good he is.
Yeah.
And, did you see his interview? Did you watch the interview with Ariel Helwani?
I watched bits of it. I get he's in character.
It's kind of in character and it's kind of not. But it's also like it is, the majority, it is very in character. Like, he talks about Punk. He talks about Punk. He said like Punk was never the star Cena was. He never moved them really like The Rock, which is such a good thing to say. It's a way of detracting any, like, it's not.
And like WWE retweeted it.
Yeah,
the clip of it.
It's not gonna be. It's obviously not gonna take away any hype from an actual Punk return, but like it's a good jab. And he talks about Ambrose. He was like, Dean could have been the man here, or Dean should have been the man here, but he couldn't do it. And he goes, Seth's the same. He goes, Seth's good, but he's not as good as me. Like, and it was all this kind of stuff, and it was really good. It was pure, like, because you believe him. You know what I mean? Like, you believe what he's saying. I know he's a really nice guy because we've seen that.
But you believe, and I think he believes what he's saying.
I think he knows how good he is, and I think he's gotten himself into a frame of mind where he's like, right, the company wants to put me in the position. There must be a reason why they want me there.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah,
and like I said, I think Balor might be the first person he faces after Thing at the Extreme Rules or something. I feel sorry for Balor. But, I feel sorry because our countryman is gonna get murdered. But
I think you go full arc. You give him the Fiend and give him the Demon.
Have him
beat the Demon.
Why not? If we're gonna build to the Rock in Mania.
Yeah.
And then beat the Rock.
And then beat the Rock, and then no one can beat him.
And then Big E comes out with a suitcase. Yeah, because that's. Yeah, I am worried about that though. If you make him too strong, who beats him? Do you know what I mean?
Big E.
You're gonna bring it. Yeah, but he's going over to avenge fucking Kofi, isn't he? Well, that's the theory. Yeah. But it actually has to be Goldberg to do that, so I don't know.
It's even better for Big E.
Yeah.
He gets his dream match.
Yeah, two beefy men
boys
slap meat. Yeah, that's true.
Because you could do Big E and Goldberg in between Jinder and Goldberg, but it would just mean Goldberg beating Big E.
Yeah, what do you have to do with that? Wait for him to cash in. What are you doing?
But like, I mean, Big E will cash in like into his face. Like, this is my dream match. This is my match.
Yeah, but do it after Saudi Arabia. Goddamn. Like,
no, because Jinder will beat Goldberg at Saudi Arabia, given our fancy booking, like.
Yeah, but see, the problem is as well, right? The only fault I can find in the Goldberg thing is that apparently his contract is 2 matches a year, and he's had his 2 matches. He's doing his 2 matches, and like obviously the Saudi bloody money is gonna be like, come on, have another match.
No, he's wrestled twice this year, is he? Already?
He's had 1, and this will be the 2nd. Oh. He had Drew at Rumble,
and
he didn't wrestle him. He didn't wrestle Mania, so
they'll get around it.
Yeah, hope not. Yeah, and also the other thing, the reason the Cena's not winning is he's only advertised for 1 more event after this, and it's like a super show on SmackDown. Where it's going to be Raw and SmackDown on the Friday. So yeah, Cena will be. Apparently, he's going to film in another movie. Argyle, I think it's called. Pretty soon after this, so he'll be gone again. Maybe he'll be back at Mania. I don't know, because like he's made fairly adamant that he's not. This isn't the last time.
Yeah.
Like he will be back, and like I said, I do think he will get that 17th title. It's just a matter of when. I think.
Yeah.
I would love if it was the Orton match at Mania. 17 title on the line.
Yeah, but you couldn't do that this year's WrestleMania.
No, don't do it now. But yeah, I think it will happen. I think it will. But yeah, that's SummerSlam. We're not going to go into Takeover because you can't. It's weird to follow SummerSlam with Takeover. It's grand as a
It's weird to
predecessor.
do it on a podcast. Never mind do it as an actual event.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird to break it down after that. It's grand to do it as a predecessor, but it's weird to do it afterwards. It's like having your starter after your dessert.
Who do you think will? Who do you think we'll get any guest appearances?
At SummerSlam.
Yeah. Because they have fucking struggled to get celebrity involvement. You see that, like they had Cardi B, she got pregnant.
She got pregnant, yeah.
They had a few others as well that fell through, apparently.
I'm trying to think of who
They
could
announced
actually
some random DJ that I've never ever heard of
I didn't even
to
see.
appear there.
I'm trying to think of who they could actually get. Like, who would be a worthy... Who would be worth getting, like? Do you know what I mean?
Potential for Becky.
Becky was the first one I thought of. But then, like, are you blowing your load then with her return, like?
Maybe.
Nah, I can't. I think she'll be an actual return, not just a guest appearance.
Yeah. It's hard to remember who's still under contract with them.
Yeah. I actually don't know. Look, I'd rather not. I'd rather, like, leave the celebrity appearances to a minimum if I could, and, you know, have this pay-per-view speak on merit alone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we'll get to watch it together, though. That'll be good.
DJ Valentino Khan. Which a lot of people
Tony Khan.
No, people are pointing out that Nick Khan just got his nephew a gig at SummerSlam.
It's probably what it is. Nah, I never heard of him. No idea who that is.
No, never heard of him either.
Valentino Khan.
Maybe he's like a Bad Bunny where he's more like Hispanic, more...
Hey, but I heard of Bad Bunny.
I'd never heard of Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I heard of him, alright.
No.
Didn't really listen to his music, but I knew who he was. But,
Yeah, but did you just know him because he had a song called Booker T?
Yeah.
But there you go.
that counts.
What doesn't you mark?
Yes, it does. He had that song released way before then.
Did he?
No, maybe not way before. Way before Mania, maybe like December.
Well, he performed at the Rumble. That's
what
what
I'm saying. It counts.
You sicken me.
So yeah, that's SummerSlam. We won't talk much about Takeover. I'll just give quick thoughts in here. Who's winning Cold O'Reilly? 3 stages.
Oh,
of hell.
O'Reilly. Has
Yeah.
to be. Cold's gone.
Cold's gone,
leaving.
presumably.
Yeah.
Who's winning Cross and Joe?
Joe,
probably.
Joe, poor Karrion Kross. He's like on his own like island of misfit toys
Yeah.
because they don't want him in NXT. They don't really want him on the main
No,
roster.
yeah. He'll get released. He'll end up getting released.
You see, it was so sad. You see him come out the other day and they were chanting, "Where is Scarlett?" at him. Oh, poor man.
The only thing I hope for that match is that Joe brings back the Muscle Buster. I hope that's what he puts him away. But
Yeah.
and who's winning? Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai?
Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think Dakota Kai is going up as well. Apparently she's
can't tell anymore.
Apparently she's been wrestling dark matches on like SmackDown.
So was Bronson Reed.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been SummerSlam /
That story with Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Yeah, I don't know. They
He's
brought him
been
back.
wrestling
They brought him back
dark.
for his dad's induction, and then he was wrestling dark matches.
And Keith Lee has been wrestling a lot of dark matches, apparently.
Yeah, because Keith Lee obviously returned the night after Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And wrestled Lashley.
Apparently, a lot of that has to do with getting Keith Lee back into proper in-ring shape, though.
Right. Yeah, because obviously he was out for 5 months with bloody heart inflammation.
Yeah, so you know. But yeah, I don't know what the story is with David Boy Smith Jr.
Yeah, I mean, there was talk that he'd signed, but you know, I don't know.
They probably signed him and then
Forgot.
released him again.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Oh, one match that we must talk about before. It just, you know, we won't talk about it in great detail, but Walter versus Ilya Dragunov 2 on TakeOver.
I think Ilia Dragon beats him.
I think the reign is ending, yeah.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
827 days, I think.
Madness. It is madness. There's been a lot of talk about Walter going up to the main roster this week. Have you seen people speculating that Walter may be open to the move to America?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Because, like, I saw him talk about how he wants Brock. He says, like, Brock would be his dream match.
I saw him talking about how he wants Joe.
Yeah, that'd be good, too.
It'd be a great match.
That'd be cool. I like to see him in NXT, like, proper NXT for a bit.
Yeah. Even just for a run, like.
Just for a small run. Just title program with Joe would be good. But yeah, did you watch WWE put out a thing this week of like the likes of Shawn Michaels and Tyson Kidd and
talk with Walter?
No, they watched Dragunov Walter 1.
Oh no.
And they're like, and like Wade Barrett and stuff like this and they're all like, you know, Michaels called it one of the greatest matches he's ever seen, and they were like, it's just a different level of violence in, like, it's weird because it's obviously just a singles match, but it's one of the most violent singles matches you'll ever
see.
It's such a good match, and match. I think it's already stolen the show on Takeover.
Yeah, if I was to tune in to Takeover, it would be for that match.
Yeah. If I knew that was going on first, I'd try to tune in.
Yeah. If I know that's going on first, if they can guarantee me that, I'll watch Takeover.
Yeah.
I'll watch first.
I'll watch that match because that's going to be incredible. Plus, Walter's reign ending is going to be huge because, like, 827 days. It's going to be quite hard to find something like that in modern wrestling, especially WWE.
Unless you get it with Roman.
Yeah, I think it's not. I don't think it's out of the question.
No, I don't think so either. He's on 300 and...
He'd be on 365 in, like, a month. No, the end of the month, he's on a year. He hits a year on the 30th, I think.
Yeah, well, I was watching a thing. I was like, these by the numbers videos. They do for the Rumble. They did a by the numbers video of Cena and Roman.
Yeah.
And they said how many days he's champion now, but I think it was like 307 or 308 or something like that.
I think, as far as I can remember, he won the title on the 30th of August last year. So that would put him at 355.
30th of August, jeez,
that was Battleground last year. Remember it was like a week after SummerSlam.
Oh, it was too. It was really weird. Yeah.
So I think Roman might. Yeah, I think he'd be champion to Mania, and if he faces The Rock, and then it'll be past Mania. I think. I could genuinely see him getting to 2
years. Yeah. Yeah. Unless in the meantime he loses it like in a multi-man, and then you do him and Rock.
Oh, that'd be shit. That'd be so bad. That would be awful. That would be very, very bad, because you need someone to actually benefit from him, like whoever that may be. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I have no idea who it could be.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the person is signed to the company. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know if they have the person who's going to beat Roman Reigns yet.
Yeah, you know what I love about Roman as well is the fact that he has such like a dominating run that, like, he's, you know. It's a year now since he's lost, and you know it's a huge thing. It's
actually longer. It's been like 500 and something days since he last pinned.
You know, it's a huge, momentous thing. But every match hasn't been like easy for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's always looks like he can lose in every match. You know,
like especially like during the Daniel Bryan feud, like
where he did tapped and all that. You know, like he looks very vulnerable.
He can be beaten. Like, he is human.
They still can't beat him.
Yeah, he still finds a way, which is like.
It's like Alex Ferguson's United.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They can be beaten.
You get so close.
But, like, he's also, like... he is a heel, and you don't like him, but, like, you have a respect for him. Because
you have to respect him.
Because he finds a way... He's a champ. He still has that champion's resolve to, like, find a way to win. He's kind of like Michael Jordan. Like, you know, Michael Jordan did lose games.
He did take that personally.
He did, but, he always went out there and found a way to win in the end. You know? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Cena might just beat him in 5 minutes. Who knows?
Tap him out.
And then blow a kiss and off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing as well in my head. I'm like, would they be opposed giving Cena the title to take on these bloody press runs with them in the movie?
No, they wouldn't. That's the thing. But see, my thing. Well, see, he's filming a movie. He's not going on a press run.
Carried around the set.
Yeah, every scene in that movie that comes out in 2 years' time, he has the belt around his waist. But yeah, see, that's the one criticism I have with this feud, is that Cena has gone into it And I don't think Cena's watched much WWE in the last year. Because Cena's gone into it, like, cutting promos about the Roman Reigns of, like, 2017. You know, like, that they all boo you and, you know, they think you suck and all that. And it's very discombobulated. Like, he's going in cutting it on the same Roman when it's a different Roman. You know what I mean? But
in fairness, I think Cena has been getting because that might lead into your theory of him tapping Cena out, because like I think Cena has been getting the better of Roman on the promos.
Yeah.
Because like Roman had that one line about the missionary position or whatever, but like
and the Nikki Bella
thing, which was kind of like a tangent off the missionary line.
Whereas he had another good line as well. Or was it? No, it was Cena actually who was talking about Dean Ambrose and
yeah. So I think what might happen is if Roman just goes out there and obliterates Cena, and then comes out the next night and is like, I don't need to talk about it, I'll just do it. You know,
this is my yard.
I smash him, I stack him, I pin him, kind of thing. Like, you know, fucking hell, it's mad because like imagine like Roman being booked like this as a face, because which we nearly could have gotten.
Yeah.
And like not the way he's doing it now, but imagine him being booked this dominantly. Imagine how sad we'd all be.
I just realised there, this is totally off topic, but I've just unintentionally started building a map of England and Ireland.
Yeah,
because like that actually looks like off the coast of Kerry.
Yeah, it looks like England.
Yeah. And that's just from me picking up my wall.
You should be a topographer.
Yeah, these are all islands and on the coast.
That's the other man. That's the other white. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I don't know what else to say now, because there's other than it's a big bloody week in wrestling, and that whatever happens over the next 2 days is going to be mighty intense.
Yeah,
and I'm scared.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one.
Yeah,
will be an interesting one, but
like I said, we'll be watching SummerSlam together.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to just not be sitting in an isolated room watching a pay-per-view. Again.
Or like, me in bed watching it and inevitably falling asleep.
Incidentally, the last time I fell asleep during a pay-per-view, you were here for his last SummerSlam. Now, granted, the Champions League final was on that day, and I
were out all day.
Drank a copious amount. So, it's be an interesting one. Yeah, will be an interesting one.
It'll be good. I'm hopeful.
And maybe CM Punk comes back tonight.
Fingers crossed.
We'll wait and see.
Well,
that's been us. We'll leave it there. We'll be back next week to break down the
either
week.
Cry, have a whinge about CM Punk not coming back, or be like, yay.
Yeah, we'll have a therapy session next week. But yeah, so that's been us.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah.
And enjoy the shows.